A very good afternoon to one and all. And today concept is about converting PDA into an CFG. In the last class, I explained you about how to convert the context-free grammar into an PDA. And in this class, I'm going to explain how to convert an PDA into an context-free grammar. What the difference between these two is, first, if your input is in the form of an context-free grammar, then how to convert it into an PDA, or else if the input is in the form of the PDA, then how to convert it into an CFG. In the last class, I explained you our input is in the form of an context-free grammar. Then I show you how to convert it into an PDA. And in this class, what I'm going to explain you is how to convert an PDA. That means the input in the form of PDA and how to get the output in the form of an CFG. And here we're having an syntax for that. And just by following the syntax and just by knowing what the idea of this conversion procedure and what the action that we're taking here for converting from PDA into CFG, and just by following all this, we're converting the PDA into an CFG. And here we're having a most important syntax, as we're already have the syntax for the conversion for CFG to PDA, right? For converting or for designing the transition rules, there we follow two syntaxes, and here also we're having one syntax for that. And let's see what the syntax is. And before that, you need to know the idea, and you need to know the what the action that we're taking here. And here what the main idea of this is, and here totally we're doing a reverse engineering procedure. That means we're reverse engineering the productions from the transitions. For example, if you're having a transition rule like this, del of an current state with an current input alphabet with the top of the stack Z, and what the resultant it is, the resultant it gives an next state along with the top of the stack, right? And if the top of the stack may be of y1 to yk, that's totally chosen by us. And here the z is on top of the stack, and what the top of the stacks here also, those are comes from the inputs, right? So what the first thing that we're doing here is where the state is changed from q to p. The state is changed from q to p here, and the terminal a is totally consumed. After consuming of this terminal, then here it becomes an epsilon, and the stack top symbol z is popped, and that is replaced with an sequence of k variables like this, right? So this is the reverse engineer the production from the transitions. And what the action that we're taking here is, just we're creating a grammar variable, and that we can name it as an, or we can call it as an QZP. QZP. See here, QZP. From this transition rule, we are writing the grammar like this. Q from the current state, Z is on the top of the stack, and P is the changed state. So QZP. So which it includes the following production like this. And how to write it means, here we're having an input alphabet A, right? So the input alphabet, we are calling it as a terminal here, because A is an terminal, directly it is an terminal. So we need to consume that terminal. So by with this terminal, we are writing the production like this. QZP, this Q, Z and P is giving a resultant of A of, and here we're having some combinations with the states along with an stack, top of the stack symbols, and p y1, because here from we're having y1 to yk, right? So we're choosing all these one by one. A of, at one time you need to choose p y1q, and q1 y2 q2, or q2 y3 q3, and so on, qk minus 1 yk qk. So please make a note of this production, because this is the syntax of converting an PDA into an CFG. That means this syntax, this production is useful for us for converting the PDA into an CFG. And here we need the output in the form of an grammar, just by taking the input in the form of an PDA, right? So for that, we need to know how to write the grammar productions from the PDA. So this is the pattern that we need to follow here. Pattern in a sense, that is nothing but a macro, or some rules that we need to follow for this, to convert the PDA into an CFG. See, everything is from the transition rule itself. Everything is from the designed PDA rule itself, we create a grammar like this. Here QZP is a grammar, right? And this can be written as from the output of this, by combining these two, just we are writing the production like this: A of P y1 q1 into q1 y2. That means there you need to write some permutations and combinations between the states along with the stack alphabet: p y1 q1, q1 y2 q2, q2 y3 q3, and so on, qk minus 1 yk qk, right? So these we can call them as an grammar productions. So please make a note of this. And now, with the example, I've clearly explained you how to convert the given PDA into the context free grammar with the following production. That means this production is a syntax for us. Just by using this production, we are converting the PDA into an CFG. And here my example is for bracket matching. Bracket matching is nothing but an for balanced parenthesis, like an open parenthesis and the closed parenthesis. Here I am taking that example, and the language that I am taking here is, it is an bracket matching example. That means to avoid the confusion of the brackets like open bracket and closed bracket, just I am initially making an assumption that now the open bracket, I am using B for the open bracket and I am using E for the closed bracket. So wherever we are having an B, it is open braces and bracket, and wherever you are having an E, it is closed bracket. So initially my PDA is like this. My PDA is Q naught BE. BE is nothing but an open and closed. These are the input alphabets. Z naught and Z1 are the stack alphabets. Transition del, Q naught and Z naught, right? So this is an my PDA. My PDA is also, and it is non-deterministic PDA. That's why PN I am putting like this. And also it is an empty stack PDA. Q naught BE, Z naught Z1, del, Q naught and Z naught. So my example is I am doing for this for bracket matchings, and bracket matching is the given language, and for that given language, first initially, as per the construction procedure for the PDS or the designing procedures for the PDS, what I need to do is, from the given language I need to write the logic for that, and I need to first initially I need to write the set of strings, and from that I need to write the logic, and from the logic I need to design some transition rules, and based on the transition rules, just by choosing an one string, I need to test it out whether the string is getting an empty stack or not. That is, the PDA is acceptance by the empty stack or not. That's the thing that I need to do when the when we are having a procedure for designing an PDS or construction of an PDS. And the same thing that we need to do for this bracket matching also, that because the bracket matching is also an language here, and for that language you need to follow all those, and finally you need to get the transition rules like this. So these are the transition rules for the given example, and these actually the given, from the given input we're having the rules like this. Or else if the question is for the given language, design the PDA and then convert it into an CFG. If you are having a question like that, means first of all you need to you need to take the language from the given question, and for that language you need to write the logic, and after writing the logic you need to phrase, or you need to design the transition rules, and from the transition rules you need to show the PDA acceptance, and then whatever the rules we are having, those rules which are acceptable by the PDA, you need to take those rules, and from those rules you need to convert it into an CFG, right? This is the step by step procedure. The designing of the PDA we already known, the construction of the PDA we already known. If the input is in the form of language, you know how to design the PDS, you know how to design the logics, you know how to write the transition rules, right? So after knowing all those things, and now we are entering into the conversion from PDA to CFG. That means these are the rules that we get from the designing of the PDA, right? And that's, we are taking all these four rules, and now we're converting these four into the CFG like this. And again I am saying the syntax of this conversion is most important. Please make a note of this. This is most important. This is the most important production. for creating a grammar from the PDA rule. And now by taking this example, but from the four transition rules of the PDA, just I'm showing you how to convert it into an CFG. Let's see. And I'm taking rule number one. What my rule number one is, del of Q naught B Z naught. What the output it was giving? Q naught Z1 Z naught. Actually, my context free grammar should be start with and starting symbol S, right? So what I'm doing here is, initially I'm assigning this Q naught Z naught Q naught to S. Q naught Z naught Q naught to S, right? So I am assigning S to Q naught Z naught Q naught, and that means S tends to Q naught Z naught Q naught. And now from this I need to write the rules. From this I need to write the rules. Q naught Z naught Q naught is what? See here what the input I am having: Q naught Z naught Q naught. Q naught Z naught Q naught. And what the input alphabet I'm having here? B. So B of Q naught Z1 Q naught. You need to write Q naught Z1 Q naught, and then Q naught Z naught Q naught. So then you get B of Q naught Z1 Q naught, Q naught Z naught Q naught. So these for the Q naught Z naught Q naught, right? And for the second one here, Q naught Z1 Z naught Q naught, Q naught Z1 Q naught. See, Q naught Z1 Q naught. And what the input alphabet that we're having here? B, right? So B of, again you need to take B of Q naught Z1 Q naught, right? Q naught Z1 Q naught. And another one you were having, right? Again it is Q naught Z1 Q naught. So you need to write like this. Is it clear? And for the third rule, Q naught E Z1 is giving Q naught epsilon. So you need to take Q naught Z1 Q naught, and what the output we are having here? Epsilon. So epsilon means a nullable, but what the input you are having here? E. So directly you are writing E. That means it tends to E. And now Q naught epsilon Z naught is giving Q naught epsilon. That means Q naught Z naught Q naught. Q naught Z naught Q naught is giving an output of epsilon. Here we are having an input alphabet epsilon. So that's why it tends to epsilon like this. I think it is clear to you all. Again, I'm repeating, this is very simple example. And if you're having more than 4 transition rules, means it becomes very complex to you. That's why I'm explaining with the simple by taking with a simple example like this, just having in 4 transition rules, and how to create the grammars for these PDA rules. Just I'm showing you. First, initially you need to start with a starting symbol S, and for the starting symbol S you need to assign the uh, assign the state. The state is from Q naught, Z naught, and Q naught. So initially I assigned this with the S. That means S is defined with Q naught Z naught Q naught, and from this Q naught Z naught Q naught I need to define what the rules that the Q naught Z naught Q naught was defining. So these are the rules I'm taking from the input alphabet as well as the stack, top of the stacks, right? So see, again I'm explaining you how to write all those. You need to take Q naught Z naught and Q naught, right? Q naught, Z naught, and Q naught. And what the outputs you are having? Z1 and Z naught, right? So at one time you need to take Z1, and at another time you need to take Z naught. So here we're having an input like B. So B of Q naught, Z1, and Q naught. Like this one, Q naught, Z1, Q naught. And into Q naught, Z naught, Q naught, right? And for the same, you need to apply the same production, say, for the creating of the grammars. The same syntax you need to apply for the rule number 2 also. See, Q naught, Z1, Q naught. And what the output stack, top of the stacks I'm having here, both are Z1s. And my input alphabet is an B, right? So B of Q naught, Z1, Q naught into Q naught, Z1, Q naught. Is it clear? Q naught, Z1, Q naught into Q naught, Z1, Q naught. Is it clear how to write the, how to create the productions from the PDA rules? So this is the way of writing the, creating the grammar from the PDA rules. So now from this, what you need to do is you need to exempt, like initially we exempt Q naught, Z naught, Q naught is an S, right? Because it is a starting symbol, right? So now you are just giving another two variables like what A is. A is Q naught Z naught Q naught, and B is Q naught Z1 Q naught. Just these are the assumptions that you are making here, and with these assumptions, just you are placing wherever you're having this Q naught Z naught Q naught, wherever you're having this thing, there you need to place A, and wherever you're having this Q naught Z1 Q naught, there you need to place B. Now, how the rules will be? See, H tends to A because A is assigned with Q naught Z naught Q naught, right? A tends to B of B. This is B. A, right? And B tends to B of this is B and this is B. So two B's we're having here, and B tends to E, and this is A tends to epsilon. So finally, after assuming that this Q naught Z naught Q naught is an A and Q naught Z1 Q naught is an B, finally our rules look like an grammar. Now we are creating the absolute grammar like this. That means it is context free grammar. We are in the form of creating the context free grammar like this. So finally, we are having the rules like this, right? So now from this, we are having some unit productions, and we're having some epsilons. So you need to remove all those. You need to remove all those. And just to remove all those, what I need to do is just by eliminating the A, I need to replace what the A is defining in the place of this A. And I need to replace wherever I'm having an A, I need to replace this epsilon. So finally, after doing the simplification, after doing the reducing of this grammar, finally the simplified grammar is S tends to BSS or epsilon, B tends to BBB or E. So this is the simplified context free grammar from the given PDA. Is it clear to you all? I think you all understand how to convert the PDA to context free grammar. So you can also directly write a context free grammar like this for the for the rules of the PDA directly like this. S tends to BS, ES or epsilon. Right. Only with one variable you can write the rule like this. S tends to BS, ES or epsilon. Or else you need to follow a step-by-step procedure, and by following the step-by-step procedure, whatever the output we are getting, and just simplify that grammar, and finally rewrite the modified grammar as an output of in the form of context-free grammar for the given PDA. Is it clear? Please make a note of this example. I am giving 5 minutes of time. This is very most important concept. Conversion from PDA to context free grammar. Just for simple example, I explained you, because if you are well understand with this simple example means, if the production rules are very complex, it is very easy for you for writing the or for creating the grammar like this. Make a note of this. Okay, then is it completed of noting down? Then you all please do practice of these examples, and practice is very important for this course. Just by listening itself you didn't get anything in this class. I think you all understand, but when you're doing the preparation there, if you get doubts means you can't get where what is going on there, right? So what I'm saying here is, just from the Google or from the textbooks, please take some examples of each and every concept. More than 2 or 3 examples you should do. Those will helpful for you for doing more practice. It is very easy for you when you are attending an examinations. And in the next class, I will explain you about the next concept, that is two ways to build a CFG and also deterministic PDA. Because I'm not explaining an NPDA. Why? Because whatever the designings that we're doing up to now from the languages, all those are all an NPDA designings, right? But we're not doing an DPDA. That's why I am explaining a concept like an DPDA, how to do the DPDA, and how how the language is an NPDA, and how it should be converted into an DPDA. And that's the thing I will explain you in the next classes, and the definition of this DPDA and all those things. And the most important thing is the difference between an PDA versus DPDA, right? And after that you need to know the PDA versus DPDA, as well as it versus to an regular languages with a neat structure. And with these concepts, this unit will be also completed. But what the thing is, you need to do more practices. Concept is very simple and nothing logics are there. Only knowing about the syntax, just by applying the syntax you are getting an output in the form of PDA or output in the form of an CFGs. And designing the PDAs from the languages is also very easy. If you know the 12 rules, just by applying the 12 rules wherever it is necessary, it is very easy for you for designing or for building the PDAs from the given languages. So from unit 1 onwards, every concept is very easy, everything is very easy, nothing logics are there. Only knowing about the syntaxes, knowing about some formulas, you need to implement all those. So what I am saying you is, do more and more practice after the class also. If you want, you need to do the revision for these concepts, because doing and revision, it makes you very simple for learning this course. Okay, then these concepts I'll cover in the next class, and in this class only I explain you the most important concept, that is the conversion from PDA to CFG. I think you all understand the concept, and this production is most important, and this is an syntax for this creating and grammar from the PDA. This is a most important syntax that we are using for creating the PDA to context free grammars. So the remaining concepts are covered in the next class. I'm leaving this session. Thank you all.